Welcome to the Bricks Network. I'm Ken. Today on the desk, we have the Audi RS Q e-tron. And this is set number 42160. This is also a Technics theme. It was released on August of 2023, contains 914 pieces, and has a retail price of $179.99, 169 euros and 99 cents, and 149 pounds and 99 cents. And the US dollars, that comes out to about 19.7 cents per piece. So I've been wanting to do this and build this particular set for quite some time. I actually grew up with radio control vehicles, and so this kind of bridges the gap for me for LEGO and RC radio control. So I was really interested to see this LEGO Technic Control and see how it actually functions. I've built the Porsche GT4 and I was a little, disappointed, but this has a little bit more off-road capability and it has four-wheel drive, so I think this would be a bit more intriguing, especially where I'm located. I have a lot more dirt and gravel areas, so I'm intrigued to see how this would turn out. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the build. Welcome to the review portion. It was a pretty non-eventful build, and there were a couple tricky sections, but I think it was more so because I didn't pay enough attention to the details of some of the Lego pegs, and so it was kind of my fault. But otherwise, it was a pretty straightforward build. And just like I said, from my experience, just take your time really going through those instructions, because there were a couple of sections where I actually had to go back and redo a few things, and mostly your user error. I did utilize the Lego Builders app because it was the full 3D version, which I really enjoy, because from the booklet, sometimes there's certain angles that they decide to utilize. You can't really understand where that particular peg goes, so having that 3D version when you can manipulate and spin it around is just invaluable. Regarding the actual details of the vehicle, I would say that there's nothing remarkable about it. Like, the doors don't open, there's no trunk, there's no hood. Nothing. Nothing is special about it from that regard. However, it does have active suspension, front and rear, which is pretty great. I don't know if you can see the springs in there, those red ones there, and then also in the rear. So that's awesome. But you do have this electric hub. This is one of the older versions. The new version actually has the lithium rechargeable battery, but this one you actually have to put 6 AA batteries inside. It has 3 electronic hubs. So 2 that are stacked upon each other right here, and then there's 1 in the rear. Let me see if I can get back in here, if you can see it. Oh, yeah. I don't know if the camera can catch it, but it's that gray hub right here that runs latitudinal there. So yeah, it provides, those hubs provide quite a bit of torque. I played with it in the living room, and it's a beast. It's slow, but it is a beast. I was able to run over my children's Duplo blocks, which was a little surprising. And I think because of those hubs, the provided 4-wheel drive it just makes it an enjoyable experience to drive. Unlike the Porsche GT4 e-Performance that I built a week or two ago, it lacked the performance from that standpoint. Here you can see the 2 hubs and the 2 gearboxes that produce the 4-wheel drive and the differentials. And here's where the electric hub goes in, where the batteries sit. I'm so happy they made it accessible, and so I don't have to take this thing completely apart just to access the batteries once they do eventually die out. Eventually I ended up putting some rechargeable batteries in there, but for now, all I had was alkaline. But the entire chassis is built around this hub and supports it, which is, it's pretty rigid. I was pretty surprised of how rigid this thing is, and it's held together quite nicely. Yeah. Now, regarding the price, it is a little pricey, but I feel that this is a better value compared to the GT4, because you can actually use this over carpet. You can use it outside in the dirt. You can use it, going over small obstacles and gravels and rocks. It has enough torque to actually accomplish that. And I'll actually take it outside so that you guys can see some of the running action. Ultimately, you do get that enjoyment of what I like to call the replayability. For me, a lot of these Lego sets, once you build it, it just becomes a display piece. There isn't much playability with it. They may have a couple little functions here, the doors open, whatever, but that's not enough to get you to go back to the set, multiple times beyond, oh, look, it looks really nice. This one, it actually has that replayability that I like, where you can go out and you can drive it, and you can do all these other things with it. Go up some couple obstacles. You can build a ramp if you want. It's not fast enough to jump it, but you can kind of use it as somewhat of a crawler, which is kind of like the rage in all the RC, or radio control group, and I actually own a few of them myself. But yeah, this is pretty good. I have to say, if you can find it on sale, even just a little discount, I would say pick it up, because I enjoy it way better than some of the other Lego Technics that have this electric hub and etc. I will say, lastly, that coming from an RC standpoint, and the fact that I enjoy both Lego and RC, this does kind of scratch the itch. It's not super fast, of course, but it's Lego, so you kind of forgive it from not being ultra fast. However, it is quite fun. I have to say, it is quite fun. So the last thing that I'll cover is the stickers. As you can see, all these details here are stickers. Tons and tons of stickers. I think from my count, it ended up being like 47 stickers. It was a lot. And luckily, a lot of them were quite big, to be honest. So, I don't know, I tend to find the bigger stickers the more difficult to put on correctly and align nicely, but it does make the vehicle look quite nice with all the stickers. And unfortunately, it was just a lot of them. It would have been nice to have just a few printed pieces, maybe like this Audi logo here in the top, or even just this one, especially considering the price. I mean, I know these electric hubs, bump up the price of the Legos, but you would think that they would at least give you a couple printed pieces in here. But overall, it was an enjoyable build. I recommend you guys pick this up. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Like I said, I really enjoyed this, and I will be continue to play with this for the foreseeable future, which is what you want from a piece that's, you know, 180 bucks. So once again, thank you guys. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. And, you know, what do you guys think of it? Are you considering picking it up, or are you looking at some other sets that have this electric hub inside? All right, guys. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.